It's time for the Blue Blows Podcast with your hosts, Alonso and Juan, Alicia Del Valle, and the babyface gimmick in the sky, Roger.
BetOnline continues to be your number one source for all your basketball wagering needs, including pro and college hoops throughout the year. With up-to-the-minute odds, stats, and trends, you can follow your favorite team's path to the playoffs with in-game live betting, contests, and all the best player props. Experience the world's best wagering platform anytime from your desktop or your mobile devices. Head to BetOnline today to become part of the team, and remember to use promo code BLEAV for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
And joining us on the Carne Asada, this is going to be a real treat, everybody, because we're going to treat him as a professor. So he's going to teach us about the Japanese Chicano culture because it's a thing. Joining us is the great, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Hide, is your last name pronounced Nukima?
Yes, correct.
All right. How are you? Bienvenido, Hide. ¿Cómo estás?
Bien, bien. ¿Y tú?
Muy bien, muy bien. Hide, obviously, we've heard all along about this connection between how the Japanese love the Chicano culture, and we're trying to prepare ourselves because this is a Dodger podcast, and with Shohei Ohtani now on the Dodgers, we are convinced that Dodger Stadium now is just going to be this Japanese Chicano culture. So I want to get first your reaction. Are you a baseball fan? Are you a big Shohei Ohtani fan?
You know what? Like when I was a kid, I played fucking baseball. You know.
Uh-huh.
And then now, like I'm big fan of the Dodgers. You know, I got LA tattoo here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the baseball, sir.
And so, you said you played baseball when you were a kid. Dude, baseball is huge in Japan, right? I mean, this isn't something new. Like, this has been going on for years, how much the Japanese love baseball.
Like, long time, honest, maybe before I born.
So you never thought you wanted to pursue it for a long time? And, maybe you had a chance to play not only in the Japanese league, but maybe eventually, like, become a major leaguer, maybe be teammates with Ichiro.
Just a little times. You know.
There you go, Alonso. We could have had Ichiro, and then we could have had Hide, and then we could have had Shohei.
That's right.
We could have, but we do have Hide. We have him in a different capacity, right? It's funny when this interview idea came up. It's ironic because I have been, just to kill time, like when I'm working or whatever, I'll be on YouTube and I look for random YouTube things. And there's been a lot of things that have come up that are like traveling to Japan. And I'm so fascinated. So I've been to Japan. It's the future. I don't care what anybody says. It is 100% the future. And if you've never been, try to go. Everything about it is just a total mind fuck, and it's so cool. But I wanted to ask you, and it's a question I've always had. I've not been in Nagoya. I want to go. Just because of the car culture over there, the Chicano culture.
Right.
Why is Latino culture, Chicano culture so popular in Japan?
Why? Honestly, like I'm not sure, but my opinion is maybe like Mexican and Japanese, very very similar for the inside the character, you know. So that's why we get along a lot. And I heard a few like rumors in Japan, like we have a Kobe, you know Kobe City.
Yeah.
So that rumor is a little bit fun, the weird, but they have like a big mountain in the Kobe City, and then also they have like a tunnel, and that tunnel to the Mexico. You know, we have like some like rumors, and I heard Pancho Villa or Zapata, I don't know which one, but they had that one Japanese soldier next to them, you know. So, like we said Chicano culture, but I guess like we connect to like a long time ago.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. And it does make sense because culturally, Japanese people also emphasize family. They emphasize food. You know, they emphasize respect and loyalty. And I think I think those are. I mean, obviously they're different, right? Like I think if you haven't watched it, go on YouTube. Hide actually with a YouTuber named Peter Santinello. Hide joined him for kind of a tour, I guess, of LA. Watch it. It's great. It gives you insight to the whole thing. The craziest fucking part about that whole thing for me is that you moved here because you love the culture so much that you wanted to be immersed in it. And first of all, respect to you, my guy, because there's a lot of cultures I love, but I don't think I could move to Italy just for a lot of reasons, right? And so what really made you say, hey, fuck it, I'm gonna go do this, and this is what I'm gonna do?
Only one thing: the lowrider. You know, I'm a big fan of the lowrider. I mean, like, not fan, you know. Actually, I'm a lowrider. You know, I've been lowriding like 18 years. You know, so you know, I'm a lowrider. That's why I want to see the real lowrider in East LA. So that's what make me to move to the Los Angeles.
So in Japan, because in Japan, I know in the 90s, there was a lot of cholos that were kind of imported over there. You know, you talk about your big homie that went back and kind of told you about some of the things. Was there any lowriders around there around that time? Because it's a pain in the ass to get any of that stuff over there anyway.
You know, like, okay, let's see, like, we have a lot of lowrider, but also, like, maybe more than 50% Japanese people, they more look up to the black culture. You know, so you know, people thinking, you know, lowrider is a Chicano, like people from here. But in Japan, honestly, more than 50%, they look up to the black people. So, you know, like, maybe that's, you guys don't know, you know. So then people thinking, you know, of course here, or maybe, sorry, that different story, but maybe here, you know, Chicano start a lowriding. That's why people thinking if you see the lowrider, or everybody Chicano style. But in Japan, not really. But some people have a lowrider and they dress up like a cholo. But so many people just have a lowrider and then dress up like a more black style, you know. And then we also have the Chicano community in Japan, but they don't have a lowrider. They just listen to the Chicano rap and they dress up like a cholos, you know. So we don't connect too much the lowrider and then culture. You get it?
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Juanito, this show is not just about baseball. It's to learn some shit. And I learned that today. And again, Japan is the future, but that fucked me up again.
Yeah. Look, Hide, I need your help on something here because you said you came here to LA because, you know, you wanted to experience the Chicano culture. Yeah. I myself,
let's say I want to say like lowriding.
The lowriding culture. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So there are some people that may say, well, that's cultural appropriation, right? So I want to ask you this. I'm a big Bruce Lee fan. Like, I love Bruce Lee. Like, I love his movies. And if I ever see like a Bruce Lee shirt, I feel like I got to get it. All right. So I'll get my Bruce Lee shirt. I'm rocking Bruce Lee. And then sometimes, like, I'll get weird looks to be like, hey, bro, what? Like, you're not Asian. Like, why are you like rocking Bruce Lee? Like, isn't it a good thing to embrace other cultures, or why is it frowned upon? Like, let's say when Justin Timberlake is doing black music, so to speak, and he's accused of cultural appropriation, or when Elvis stole all the black music back in the 1950s, there is a negative connotation. Is there any way there could be something positive by embracing other cultures?
Yeah, I think, you know, like maybe 50-50.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Know, like, you know, like, you know, you say like, you know, because I'm here, right? And I'm living with like a homies. And then, you know, some people say like, hey, oh, you are Mexican more than me. And then some people say, hey, you're not Mexican. Why you dress up like this, you know? But honestly, so, you know, that means like everybody different mind, you know? But
so Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
But like we just respect the culture things, so people hate on me, like I don't give a fuck, just just tell me to like in person, like that's it.
So the lowrider was the attraction for you. Now I have to say this, Hide. I in the mid '90s when I was learning how to drive, my uncle
Okay.
had a Lincoln Town Car, and I
Oh, same
loved
one.
that car.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't the same one that you had, but I
Yeah,
loved
older
that
one.
car.
Yeah.
Yeah, an older one. And I love that car. I love driving it. And everybody was like, dude, that's an old person's car. Like, why would you? It's like, because I always said, oh man, when I get enough money, I'm gonna get me a Lincoln Town car. Because I
Yeah.
just thought those cars were so cool. But you have a tricked out 97 Lincoln Town car. What
Yeah.
was it about the Lincoln Town car for you that made you
You
love
know,
it so much?
okay, I tell the truth. So honestly, I'm a Cadillac guy. When I was in
Okay.
Japan, yeah, when I was in Japan, I had two Cadillacs. I always driving the Cadillacs, and then when I moved to here, I just want to start like the lowrider here. So, but I was looking for the Cadillac, but Cadillac pricey like going like higher, and then town car was a little bit less than the Cadillac. So I just decided to buy the lower, I mean like a town car, you know. But
Uh-huh.
now I drive the Lincoln, yeah, Lincoln is a super luxury, very comfortable, you know. But I'm a Cadillac guy, so maybe this year I'm gonna have a Cadillac, you know.
Well, you know what? I heard you talking about that there are also lowrider shows in Japan.
Yeah,
But you said something about, and correct me if I'm wrong here, that here, especially in Los Angeles or here in California, whenever you go to a lowrider show, some
yeah,
shit always goes down. But in
always.
Japan, it's not like that.
Let's
So
say like okay, every weekend I go cruising.
Mhm.
Every, especially summertime, every cruising maybe something happen, right? Maybe let's say every weekend. Japan, let's say maybe one times a year something happens, but just like fight or something, not
Uh-huh.
shooting, not stabbing. That's a big difference.
So did you ever think about that, like before you came to the United States? Like, obviously, we have a problem with violence in this country. Like,
Yeah,
you can just like, I mean, there was a parade for a Super Bowl, and some kids ended up with guns, and someone
yeah, something
died as a
happened.
result of
Yeah,
that. Like, how cognizant? Well, maybe when you first came to the United States, that wasn't
yeah,
an issue. But the fact that you just said it, like in Japan, maybe once a year something happens, but
yeah.
here it's expected, like that kind of violence. Did you ever think about that when you came to this country?
No, like my emotion was more strong than like any scared of the things. So
Hmm.
like I was thinking, oh, I just want to go there. I
Yeah.
never thinking, oh, I'm gonna get trouble, maybe I'm gonna into fight, like nothing, like I just want to go. That's like I was feeling like that. So I
Yeah.
never thinking like a violence in the lowrider the community. But
Uh-huh.
later I find out, like, oh, the lowrider community is not no joke. You have to respect the people, you have to respect the street. But some people, they don't give a fuck about nothing. You know that's why maybe something happened. But I'm a very like open, and I'm a very respected. I want to be like a loyalty to everybody. No matter who you are. Like that's me. So that's why I never get trouble so far.
I know Alonso's about that life. I'm not. I'm a pacifist. I'm a guy who just I'll go to the movies. I like to stay out of trouble, but Alonso's
Yeah,
about that life.
I respect that you're a Cadillac guy. I've wanted a '54 Cadillac Coupe de Ville for quite
man,
some
that's my
time. I due to some personal reasons, I haven't been able to get one, but
yeah.
that's on the bucket list. What's the Cadillac that you fuck with?
Like 85 free wood, the coupe, coupe, the
Oh,
two
okay,
door one. Yeah,
all right, the big ass
yeah,
doors, yeah,
yeah. And then
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I want that everything looks like a 90s out, the Euro creep.
I like that.
That's yeah, that's my dream car. But I'm
Yeah.
gonna get this year whole 3.
Hey, I mean, listen, there's hope here in this country, at least, right? I mean, all the other shit combined, you can still make it happen. Yo, I wanted to ask you, the thing that I really respect about you is that you not only have embraced the culture, but you respect the culture. And I think
Yeah,
that's where, as a whole, I think the whole Japanese thing, embracing Chicanos, that's I think
yeah,
where I fuck with it, because
yeah,
they're not sitting here making fun of it. They're not anything. They take it serious. They're loyal with it. They're respectful with it. And something that stuck out to me that you said on that video with Peter is that you took out the good parts of the
yeah,
culture and you
yeah,
run with it. What are the
yeah.
good parts of the culture that you run with?
Like I learned from I learned about the love. Like I always tell everybody, like, Japanese people, we never say to I love you, my moms, my dads. I never hug like parents either. But like here home is every times when I see your parents, they say I love you and I hug them. You know, Especially they looks like a very tough person. They got like a breast tattoo that everywhere. But when they with mom or something, like they're very very like love. I don't know how they say, but like they love their parents. But we don't show much. Of course we have a love to the parents, but we don't show that love. That's how I'm learning like a big things.
Or as my wife says, when we all get drunk, we just kiss each other. Like, that's just what happens. You play corrido, you kiss each
That's
other.
right. Yeah,
But
you know.
the other thing that I also respect about you is you've embraced kind of your position in the world. And what I mean by that is, it looks like you're cool with kind of being the conduit with showing the world the culture, la cultura, right?
See,
And
see.
even like with like I fucking stoked for you, that collab that you did with Shakaware,
Yeah,
where you're doing it in English. I'm sorry, you're doing it in Japanese,
yeah,
but you're still kind of staying true to the culture. Or the dope one is when the game, you did that pop up with the game over there too. Like
yeah,
it's bringing all these cultures together, and like you said, kind of bringing out the best parts of the culture. For you, is that kind of how you look at it, in the sense of kind of showing this culture to some people? Because at the end of the day, gang culture, or Chicano culture, however you want to label it, it all has kind of this bad look, right? Oh, well, these guys have big tattoos on them. They're big and scary. But at the end of
yeah,
the day, it's really not that at all. It really is family.
yeah.
And
For
and
real.
res-
That
and,
that
and res-
that's how I felt. Like everybody looks. I told you everybody looks so tough. But when you get friends, they take care of me a lot. They got me back. They don't. I'm from Japan. I'm not Mexican, but they treat me very very good. That's why I'm always respect to the raza. That's like yeah, my emotion now.
so in Japan, when people, because I'm sure you get people interacting with you from Japan, what's kind of the reception like then, as you're kind of trying to show and profile this culture?
What I mean that what do you say?
Like the reception, like the vibe that you get from people in Japan when they see you
The
kind of.
Chicano style.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Some people like maybe I like weird, because like a cholo style is not much in Japan, but so like let's say you wearing maybe penotens and baggy pants and with irons, like maybe people thinking like what's the style, like some people, you know but of course some people who like excuse me, who likes the West Coast culture or Chicano culture, yeah, they always, oh, you looks clean,
I just always think that too, because like, I mean, from afar I would never know that you're Japanese. I also have really bad eyes, so I just would never know that you're Japanese, right? But
yeah,
but I also respect that you don't take it to the limit to try to act Mexican, right? I think
yeah,
that's where the
no,
big difference is with the appropriation, where
yeah,
some people kind of get
yeah.
mad.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. I think so too. I'm a puro pinche Japonés. I'm a, I'm a like, I'm a representative. I'm a Japanese.
yeah.
Yeah,
How
that's why
how
maybe people likes me like from here. I never say like, oh, I wanna be Mexican.
Yeah.
I never say like, no, I'm a Japanese.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. So I wanted to ask you, you talk about food a lot, right? You talk about bringing that kind of component in. And obviously in that video, spoiler alert, you say that the best food is just fresh sushi, back home. And I understand that. For you, what's your favorite Mexican food and your go-to to go with?
Oh, birria consome.
Oh, okay. Now, do you do the birria ramen with the consomme or just birria?
No, just a consome soup, sopita.
Oh, so just the soup alone?
Yeah. And then some, maybe few dos tacos. That's enough for me.
So you don't eat like us fat boys do. Us
no.
14 tacos.
I love the tacos, but like that's heavy for me, So let's say I always get like 4 tacos, and the 2 I eat everything, and the other tacos maybe 1 bite with tortilla, and I take just carne.
Now with and that's the other thing I'll say too. Like I've seen like your video. I've seen. I think I want to say it was like Refinery 29 did some stuff back like in 2019 where they go to Nagoya and they follow people.
Oh around. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Again, it's a cool insight because what they're doing at the end of the day is respecting the culture. But the thing that I like about it all is everyone's getting together and just socializing and just being real. And like the way I look at it is, I don't think it's cultural appropriation. The way I look at it is, hey, the homie Hide is invited to the carne asada, call that fool over. I like, it's more that vibe than it is anything else. I think people just take it out of context in a way it doesn't need to be, Juanito, I know he just banished tacos a little bit, and I know you're as a fellow fat boy, I know that's a bad thing. So ease into it with whatever you're going to ask him right now.
Well, you know what? It's interesting because I love that you had said that you're puro pinche Japonés, right? And that and you never tried to be Mexican, but
no.
there's a joke here that all us Mexicans always have that one guy who does look, Japanese,
Yeah.
Now, I wonder how you felt because I feel like us Mexicans, we can be racist many times. How many times have your homies called you Chino? And are you okay with them calling you Chino?
Hell no. I told you I'm a puro pinche Japonés. So people call me Chino. I say, hey, I'm a Japanese. I'm gonna tell 100%. But between like me and the homie, we always like like playing around, fuck around, like just joking. They call me every time Chino, and I say like, yeah, I'm gonna tell them something.
So if it's one of your homies and they call you Chino, you're okay. But if it's someone you don't know and they call you Chino, then it's odd, right?
First, I give it like like, hey, I'm not Chino. I'm gonna tell them like I don't get mad because I understand you guys. Maybe I'm looks Asian, that's why they call Chino. But if I say like, hey, I'm Japanese, and he's still calling Chino, yeah, I'm gonna get mad. Yeah.
So there was a video that came out today with the Dodgers out in spring training where Teoscar Hernandez was speaking Spanish with Shohei Ohtani. And I look, Alonso, I know, has always said that Shohei speaks Spanish. And so Teoscar is teaching Shohei how to speak Spanish. And like Shohei is speaking better Spanish than some of my friends that I know that, are Mexican and speak Spanish. Yeah. So the fact that, Shohei, this is Los Angeles. There's a huge Latino population. He's coming in here. And this is like you. Shohei seems to be someone who's very proud of his heritage. He wore that samurai helmet as a celebration when he hit home runs next year. But if Shohei reaches out to the Latino culture here in Los Angeles, is he going to become an even bigger superstar than what he already is?
Yeah. But like Mexican culture, right? Like
yeah,
like you say Latino culture, but like Mexican culture.
Well, it is primarily but I know there's Guatemalans here, there's Salvadoreños here, and all that. So I don't want to just automatically Mexican.
Okay, yeah. That's, but like that's a little bit. I don't know though, because he's I don't know.
Well, because a lot of people are saying like he's showing a lot more personality now that he's with the Dodgers. And I'm just like, look, man. I mean, when you're hanging around Latinos, they're loud, they're rambunctious, they always want to have a party. That kind of energy,
Yeah.
you can't help to be a part of it, right?
But he's a professional baseball player. So, and the Japanese always thinking like a little future.
Uh-huh.
Maybe he's very serious about like his life or something, and he doesn't want to party. He's gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna stay away a little bit this culture. you know.
Oh, okay. All right,
Yeah,
look at Hide.
yeah,
Hide's
yeah.
giving us the insight here on
Yeah,
Shohei.
yeah, 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 yeah. Because he's a professional baseball player, so he gonna think about the future. That's a Japanese people thinking about the little future. So, that's a good things and the same times bad things. We can enjoy this moment sometimes because we think in the little future. But you can enjoy right now. Maybe you have a like, let's say you have a good time right now, but future maybe you don't have a nothing. Maybe
Mm.
I think that's a big difference like between us and the American people.
Wow, hey, Alonso, I think maybe Hide just explained to us why Shohei took the deferrals.
It makes
He's
sense.
thinking about his future.
I mean, that makes all the sense. I mean, I could use $68 million a year for the next 10 years, but what do I know, right? Hide joining us here. If you're not, follow his Instagram. It's at Hide90006. It's a great follow. Dope pictures. There's even puppies on his Instagram, and I highly suggest that you go check it out. Hide, like I said, I respect the shit out of you, man, just because of how real you keep it. And so as a whole, I can't thank you enough for that. When your family found out that this is what you were doing and you were moving here for the lowrider, how real did when it got real, how did they accept that? Or is it an issue at all? Or are they cool with everything?
No, and my mom, one time she came she visited me like maybe before the COVID, and then I took her to the whole like my homie's house, and then everybody starting like hugging with mom, so she was so happy, like she was like me, like why they looks like so scary but they so nice, so she was very accept to like this culture, and then also when we like when we gonna say bye, first ever like I remember I never forget, I first time like the hugging her like in my life, you know that's like they changed me so many good things to like good way.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it is true, right? Like that culture, the only, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, just the only word I could think of it is it's a little bit of a stiff culture. It's very uptight. There's very like social norms, obviously you have to follow, which isn't a bad thing. Like I said, going to Japan, it's one of the safest places I've ever been to.
Yeah.
Everyone was super nice there. I'm not saying anyone was rude, but just the cultural expectations are very different, right? But at the same time, they're the same. That immigrant mentality.
Correct,
When you come here, hey, don't take the job if it isn't secure. That whole bit, like it's the same thing culturally. But I wanted to ask you, the other thing is your language over there is completely different than not only Spanish but English.
so different.
For the life of me, it always sounds like you guys are all fighting, and I never know, what's hey, whoa, it's about to pop off. Yeah. For you, how has it been because you said in that video you didn't know any English when you moved here,
Nothing.
and then you also learned some Spanish. So what was that like for you?
What?
What was that like for you? Not being able to speak the language, but then also you were able to learn it to kind of to meet with the homies.
Yeah, but first things was like I told you I want to be like seeing the real lowrider right here. So like I honestly I don't care about the language. I just want to go there and then maybe I can learn later something. But I just keep going. Then I had that chance with talking with homies. Then later I figured out, oh, I need to learn the English more. So that's why like I start learning more, and then I try to spend time with homies, and automatically I'm learning the English. So but I'm still surprised I speak Spanish and it's the English too. Because I was so honestly, I didn't have a good education in Japan. I didn't go to school always with Kiki with my boys. I didn't take a class. So now a lot of people from Japan, they very very surprised I speak English.
So it just wasn't expected that you'd be able to pick up another language.
No, for real. Yeah, I didn't accept
So let me ask you this: in Spanish, like how much Spanish do you speak? Like if we had a conversation in Spanish, could
Más
you
menos?
understand? Más o menos.
Sí.
So puedes entender la mayoría de lo que dice uno.
Oh, no entiendo.
Well, that's the reason I ask, right? Because there's like the conversational Spanish, right? And then I know for sure that the homies were teaching you the bad words. Like let's be honest.
Yeah. Homies using more like a Spanglish, like using English and the Spanish. So I know more like a word, let's say like a little words, like sentence, like sometimes I understand, sometimes not really.
Fair. That's fair. Before we wrap this guy up, I have one more question for you. What or where is your favorite place in LA to go to, and why?
Let's say East LA, allá es mucho raza y mucho muy bueno de comida de mexicana. So I like over there.
Again, he's proving why I fuck with him, Juan.
Right on. So Hide, we want to be respectful of your time, so we're going to end the show the way we always end our shows, and we have a series of quick questions here.
Okay.
If you want to give a longer answer, you can, but we like to call this our kickback questions. We're just hanging out here, and so just hanging amongst friends. But is it true that when you first came here, the place you wanted to visit the most was MacArthur Park? And what was it about MacArthur Park that you wanted to see?
It's a ghetto, super ghetto. Even every time I go there, like, somebody hit me up, where from? But, I was thinking like, they asked me the way from because I'm looks like Asian, But later I find out that means where you gang from, like, Yeah, but it was so ghetto,
So were you expecting it to be worse, or when you finally saw it, did you go, oh, this is worse than I ever thought it was going to be?
Yeah, like second one. But we sometimes we don't have a super ghetto in Japan. So I was so excited to go there.
Yeah.
Because looks different. I seen so many gang members, maybe, but I'm not scared. Like I was more excited. Like why people in so many years and why so ghetto?
Did you end up joining one of the football games that they play there, the soccer games that break out in the middle of the park?
No. No.
You didn't go in there wearing your wife beater and your shorts and be like, hey, man, pásame la pelota, carnal.
No.
Now, on this show, we're big fans of wrestling. And so this is going to be a new one for us because people may not know this, but Japan has a huge wrestling community. And I mean, wrestling is huge in Japan. Were you a fan of Japanese wrestling?
No, honestly, no. But I wasn't doing I used to do like a karate, and then now I'm training in the boxing. So I like to the fight things. But like wrestling is like I never like into the
Okay, so last one. We already know that you like birria and you like to limit your tacos. Like we are big into the taco culture here. We love our tacos here, Hide. Yeah. So I'm going to change this question for you. Last one for you. Out here, they seem to be doing a lot of fusion. Like I know, like Korean barbecue, or I'll go and there's a Korean food truck, and they end up making these like Korean ribs and just putting a tortilla around that. How do you feel about fusion? Like combining different cultures' food? Like, is there a good combination of a Japanese food with a Mexican food that you think, oh, this is fantastic, everyone should have it?
You know, like let's say, like I love sushi, right? And then also they have a Mexican style sushi, but to me that's not real sushi. But same, not real sushi, but same time some of it tastes real good. So like I can say like oh I don't like it, but like everything, especially nowadays, everything together. Maybe back in the day, like everybody separate, different race. Like, you're not gonna join another race. Maybe I'm not sure. But now everybody more like a united. That's how I feel.
So if I go to Japan and I get sushi and I start putting salsa verde on it, are
Oh
they
my
going to
God.
kick my ass? Are they going to kick me
Yeah.
out of there?
No, maybe they want to try it because they don't know the chili verde, like green sauce.
There we go, right? It's
They're gonna be like,
Maybe
hey,
they say, hey, let me try it,
let's try what this fat boy's eating over here, because that looks
yeah,
pretty good.
exactly.
Yeah.
Look, thank you for joining us, Hide. We had a great time.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Yeah.
And make sure you guys follow him on Instagram. Kamikaze Clothing, that's still around, Hide? Like
yes.
the people can go out there and get your gear.
Yeah, if you can DM from the IG, please, if you need it, please DM me. So
all right.
Yeah,
and do you still have your car club?
Oh yeah, I do like my things, and that's called the International Car Club, Japan Angeles.
Oh, Japangeles. Okay, all right. I like that.
Thank you.
If you're not following him, follow him. It's Hide, also spelled like Hide, Hide.
Yeah.
90006. I'm about to follow him right now. You should too. Hide, thank you for everything that you put out. You're a positive influence, and I fucking respect the shit out of you for that, my guy. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
And maybe we can see you at a Dodger game this year with Shohei and Yamamoto.
Yeah, I'm gonna be there for sure.
We'll go get tacos with you, but we'll only give you 2.
Okay, that's 2. 2, and then give me like a white rice, please.
Hey, there we go. There it is.
All right, thanks a lot, Hide. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you so much.
This episode has been brought to you by Bet Online. The game starts here.